There are so many good books coming out over summer, June, July, August, that are going to make my already insanely long TBR even longer, and I'm gonna make you suffer along with me. So I have compiled a list of 30 books coming out over the next 3 months that I either already have pre-ordered or I'm absolutely going to pre-order, and that you should too. Here we go.
Hello? Hello? Can anybody hear my voice? Anybody out there? Anybody hears me? Please respond.
Some of these I have a better idea about the content of than others, so I'm going to be reading descriptions straight from Goodreads, and we're going in chronological order, just to make it easier. There are 2 books coming out on June 4th, and the first is The Borrowed Hills by Scott Preston. It's dark historical fiction / thriller. 2 neighboring sheep herders lose their flocks and start a dark tale of difficult decisions and revenge. A Wild West type tale of rustling and villainy, blood and belonging transposed to the bleakly beautiful northern England. So, dark cowboy kind of. Dark cowboy sheep herder Maybe this one's just for me, but I'm getting it. Also, look at the cover. How could I not buy this cover? The second book coming out on June 4th is called The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind, which is a fantasy romance set in New York City. 13 years ago, monsters emerged from the shadows and plunged Kyrsa's world into a cataclysmic war of near-total destruction. The Monster Treaty was created, a truce of sorts. But tonight, Kyrsa, a gifted and fearless thief, will break that treaty. She'll enter the Holly Library, not knowing it's the home of a monster, but he's been playing a game across centuries, and once she joins in, there will be no escape. So this kind of feels like we have some Beauty and the Beast aspects to it. A library, the monster is a man, blah blah blah. Alright, I pre-ordered this like a year ago, so it's coming whether I want it to or not. On June 11th, we have The Stars Too Fondly by Emily Hamilton, which is part of a quote from a poem that I've loved since I was a kid. The full quote is, though my soul may set in darkness, it will rise in perfect light. I have loved the stars too fondly to be fearful of the night. And I think it's by Sarah Williams. I've loved that poem since I was like a wee babe. That's enough to make me pre-order a book. Wait, did I get the quote right? Yeah, I did. I got the quote exactly right. So, The Stars Too Fondly, a tale of galaxy-spanning friendship, improbable love, and found family. Cleo and her friends wanted to know why, 20 years ago, the entire Providence crew vanished without a trace, but then the stupid dark matter engine started on its own. Now these 4 20-somethings are en route to Proxima Centauri while being harangued by a hologram that has the face and snide attitude of the ship's missing captain, Billy. Old mysteries come crawling back to life, and Cleo's initially combative relationship with Billy turns into something deeper and more desperate than either woman was prepared. Woman!
Gay holograms!
Billy. Okay. So we accidentally stole a spaceship and we fall in gay love with the ship's hologram captain. Yeah. I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I'm going to. Or I'm just gonna go buy it when it comes out in, a week and a half. There are 4 books coming out on June 18th. And the first one that I want to talk about is a little bit different. It's a photography book. It's like a photography coffee table book by a photographer called Lucy Lott, who I adore. The photography book is called Il dolce far niente. In Italian, it means the sweetness of doing nothing. The photography book looks beautiful, and I'll cry. I'm gonna cry looking through it, just wanting to be back in Italy so badly. So if you're gonna get a photography coffee table book, let it be Il dolce far niente on, what did I say? June 18th. The second book that comes out on June 18th is called Rake's Fall by Vajra Chandrasekhara. Rake's Fall is a groundbreaking standalone science fiction epic about 2 souls bound together from here until the ends of time. Sick. So 2 people met after the war but before the peace. They meet up in a demon-haunted wood and propel their souls on a journey throughout the ages. No world can hold them, no life can bind them, and they'll never leave each other behind, but their journey will not be easy. This sounds cool. Tracing 2 souls through endless lifetimes. Love. I love anything, sci-fi, fantasy, even romance. I don't read romance, but I love a romance even with 2 people whose souls meet up through different lifetimes. reincarnations, soulmates, that whole deal. So if any of you really want me to try reading romance, give me recommendations that are either time travel based or reincarnation based, lifetimes, soulmates, all of that kind of stuff. Next, the third book coming out on June 18th is The Cautious Traveler's Guide to the Wastelands by Sarah Brooks, which I have already ordered, pre-ordered. Part fantasy, part historical fiction. It is said there is a price that every passenger must pay, a price beyond the cost of a ticket. It's the end of the 19th century and the world is awash with marvels, but there is nothing so marvelous as the wastelands, a terrain of terrible miracles that lies between Beijing and Moscow. Nothing touches this abandoned wilderness except the Great Trans-Siberian Express, an impenetrable train built to carry cargo across continents, but which now transports anyone who dares to cross the shadowy wastelands. So this sounds like Snowpiercer, which is one of my favorite. If you haven't watched my birthday video, all 60 of my favorite movies, Snowpiercer is one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time. And this sounds very Snowpiercer-y, which is, I think that's probably why I pre-ordered it in the first place. A grieving woman with a borrowed name, a famous child born on the train, something uncontrollable seems to be breaking in. Cool. Awesome. The fourth book coming out on June 18th is Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. I don't read a whole lot of young adult anymore, except for series. I feel like series is where they get me, because, you know, Six of Crows, that whole thing. Our 18-year-old protagonist dreams of becoming a world-class engineer like her father. Her life falls apart after his sudden murder. She goes to the capital and the prestigious Engineers Guild. Determined to discover why anyone would threaten a man who ultimately chose a quiet life over fame and fortune, disguised as her brother, Ying manages to infiltrate the guild's male-only apprenticeship trial with the help of an unlikely ally. Of course, who's the prince? Okay, so we have a little Mulan action going here. She goes undercover disguised as her brother. Okay, a little Mulan and a little She's the Man. My camera stopped recording at some point, I don't know when, but a little Mulan action. She goes undercover disguised as a man to avenge her father. Good. Fun. Good. The last book coming out in June is called Bloodguard by Cece Robson. And I'm half convinced that this book is never gonna come out. Bloodguard, I have had it pre-ordered for like a year and the release date keeps getting pushed back and back and back and back. I think it was originally supposed to be released like 2 years ago. It just keeps getting pushed further and further back. Apparently it's being released on June 18th, but we'll see. Okay, I just checked the Goodreads and as of a few weeks ago, Bloodguard has officially been delayed again until October. What the fuck is going on? So we're not going to talk about Bloodguard yet. I'm telling you, I really think that this book is never going to come out. Okay, so then we're moving on to July. 2 books coming out on July 2nd. The first is called Masquerade by O.O. Sangoyomi, which is an African-inspired political fantasy novel. It says it's based on a Nigerian/Yoruba retelling of Hades and Persephone. Yeah. Ododo's hometown has been conquered by the warrior king of Yoruba land. Then Ododo is abducted. She finds out that her abductor is a king disguised as a vagrant who has chosen her to be his wife. She must defy the cruel king she has been forced to wed by reforging the shaky loyalties of the court in her favor, or risk ruining everything including her life. Loosely based on the myth of Persephone, O.O. Sangoyomi's Masquerade takes you on a journey of epic power struggles and political intrigue. Hell yeah. Also coming out on July 2nd is The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. This one is I've accidentally added a mystery thriller to my list. What have I done? I don't read mystery thrillers. Okay, let's see. When a teenager vanishes from her Adirondack summer camp, 2 worlds collide. Early morning, August 1975, a camp counselor discovers an empty bunk. Barbara, the girl who's gone missing, isn't just any 13-year-old. She's the daughter of the family that owns the summer camp and employs most of the region's residents. And this isn't the first time a Van Laar child has disappeared. Barbara's older brother vanished 14 years ago, never to be found. Ooh. Okay. Okay, maybe I'm forcing myself to read some mystery thriller books. Maybe I'm trying to make it into that world. Okay, if you want to recommend mystery thriller books that have to do with time travel, dimensions, soulmates, whatever. I don't know. I feel like I should branch out. I feel like I should try more romance, try more mystery thrillers. But if I'm gonna do it, I need ones that I'm really gonna love. Oh, my bad. There's a third book coming out on July 2nd, and it's Reckless, the follow-up to Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I am putting this on here just because I've already pre-ordered it. I'm sure you all know what Powerless is, or most of you do. It went crazy on BookTube. When did it come out? It went crazy on BookTube last year when it came out. I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. I thought it was mid at best, but I started the series, so I'm gonna finish the series, so I'm gonna read the second book. Whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 books coming out on July 9th. Are you ready? The first one is called The Sky on Fire by Jen Lyons, which looks to be another dragon book. Hopefully it doesn't get dragged down like Fourth Wing did with Iron Flame. Dragoned down. So this is obviously fantasy, not YA. Adult fantasy. Enter a world ruled by dragons. Anarod lives only for survival, preferring to thrive in the jungles of the deep, with the Titan Drake she keeps by her side, whatever that means. When an adventuring party saves her from capture by the local warlord, she is eager to return to her solitary life, but this is no ordinary rescue. Anarod's past has caught up with her, and these cunning misfits intend to spirit her away to the Cloud Cities where they need her help to steal from a dragon's horde. There's only one in the Cloud Cities, dragons rule, and the horde in question belongs to the current regent, Never Animas, and she wants Anarod dead. Okay, so it's a heist with dragons. Okay. More dragon books makes me nervous. I feel like dragon books are either gonna be real good or real bad. So I'm nervous. I'm nervous about it, but I have already pre-ordered this one. So this is gonna be mine on July 9th. So we'll see. Next on July 9th is Black Tide Sun by H.M. Long. It is the second book in the Winter Sea series. The first one was Darkwater Daughter, which came out last year, which I own but haven't read yet. This is the second one. I won't read any of the description. I don't want to spoil things for myself or for you. But the first book, Darkwater Daughter, has pretty good. It's got a 3.87 on Goodreads. I already have this ordered even though I haven't read the first one, so I'll read them at some point. The third book coming out on July 9th is also a little different. It is a nonfiction, it's a memoir, and it's called The Color of Everything, A Journey to Quiet the Chaos Within by Corey Richards. Corey Richards is a renowned climber and National Geographic photographer. And you could say those words to me, I don't need to hear the rest of it. I don't need to hear shit. A National Geographic photographer, my dream job of dream jobs. I'm ordering it, I'm reading it, I'm gonna cry the whole time. Oh. Well, most of the book is about trauma and grief, so I guess I will be crying the whole time, but it'll be for different reasons than I originally thought. Okay, yeah. A journey through mental health, learning to reclaim your past and rewrite your story and become a National Geographic photographer. No brainer. Ordering. The last book coming out on July 9th is called Toward Eternity by Anton Herr. And I remember absolutely nothing about this one. Let's read this together. What does it mean to be human in a world where technology is quickly catching up to biology? A new technology therapy is quickly eradicating cancer. The body cells are entirely replaced with nanites, robot or android cells that not only cure those afflicted but leave them virtually immortal. Literary researcher Young Han teaches an AI how to understand poetry and creates a living, thinking machine he names Panet, meaning beloved, in honor of his husband. When Dr. Biko, who holds the patent to the nanotherapy technology, learns of Panet, he transfers its consciousness into an android body, giving it freedom and life. As Young Han, Panet, and other nanohumans thrive and begin to replicate, their development will lead them to a crossroads and a choice with existential consequences. Hell yeah! iRobot ass bitch. Absolutely! And it's only 250 pages. We love a short, gay sci-fi book. So that's all 4 from July 9th. On July 16th, we have 2 books. The first is called The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman, with a cute little cover. Fantasy, historical fiction, and retellings. Gorgeous. A gifted young knight named Colum arrives at Camelot to compete for a spot on the Round Table, only to find he's too late. The king died 2 weeks ago, leaving no heir, and only a handful of the knights of the Round Table survive. They aren't the heroes of legend, they're the oddballs of the round table from the edges of the story. They're joined by Nimue, who is Merlin's apprentice until she turned on him and buried him under a hill. Together, this ragtag fellowship will set out to rebuild Camelot in a world that has lost its balance. Cool. Alright, so Camelot retelling. That sounds like fun. How long are you? Whoo, baby! 688 pages. Okay, it's gonna balance out the last one. The second book coming out on July 16th is called The West Passage by Jared Pechacek. Jared Pechacek. How do I pronounce that? Pechacek.
Pekacek. Pekacek.
Pekacek. Pechacek.
Pekacek.
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 Pekacek. Jared Pekacek. The West Passage by Jared... The West Patchett. Am I okay? The West Passage by Jared Pekacek. Maybe. It says it's an adult fantasy. A palace the size of a city ruled by giant ladies of unknowable eldritch origin. Hell yeah, I'm in already. A land left to slow decay, drowning in the debris of generations. When the guardian of the West Passage died in her bed, the women of the Grey Tower fed her to the crows and went back to their chores. No successor was named as guardian, no one took up the fallen blade, the West Passage went unguarded. Now, snow blankets gray in the height of summer. Rats erupt from beneath the earth, fleeing that which comes. Crops fail, hunger looms, and none stand ready to face the beast, stirring beneath the poisoned soil. The fate of all who live in the palace hangs on narrow shoulders. Paths cross the West Passage, the ancient byway of the beast. On their journeys they will meet school teachers and beekeepers, miracles and monsters, and very, very big ladies. One thing is for sure, the world is about to change. I just read that and I have no idea what's going on. A really big lady died and then we're gonna meet more really big ladies and there's a beast under the poisoned soil. I'm so confused, but we're reading it. Are you long? 384 pages. Not bad. Not short, not long. All right, sure. Confuse the hell out of me. I accept. On July 23rd, we have a second book that has been delayed a handful of times called The Last One by Rachel Housel Hall. It's another fantasy romance. Just like Bloodguard, it's by Red Tower. And just like Bloodguard, it's been pushed back a whole bunch. This one's been pushed back at least 4 times. Right now it still says July 23rd. But let's see how it goes. This one says The Witcher meets N.K. Jemisin, which I don't trust. A young woman learns the world is about to be destroyed by an evil, destructive force, herself. Everyone I meet either fears me or loathes me. The moment I touch another, a piece of me dies. Yes, I'm dying every day. We're all dying every day, girl. You're not special. My amulet has been stolen. People are lying to me. They're trying to stop me. Who am I? I must be powerful. I don't know. I'm nervous. I pre-ordered this book a long time ago, before all of the delays and everything, so it's coming to me one way or another. Who knows when. God, I'm so nervous about it. But we'll see. Cross your fingers.
One day later.
If you couldn't tell, I didn't write a script for today's video. I just have my little list. So I hope you enjoy being spoken to as if we're just 2 homies sitting in my office. Just 2 pals sitting side by side in an office. We don't have a script today. We don't know what we're saying. We're going off the cuff. We're going stream of consciousness. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say at any point. So if you don't like this and you hate the way I'm speaking, let me know and I'll do better at writing scripts and not just talking out of my ass. Seriously, let me know. I won't be offended. I know the ADHD takes over sometimes. Anyway, July 30th. There's one book releasing on July 30th, and that is called Long Live Evil by Sarah Rees Brennan. Why does Sarah Rees Brennan sound so familiar? Oh. No. A tale for everyone who's ever fallen for the villain. When her whole life collapsed, Ray still had books. Dying, she seizes a second chance at living, a magical bargain that lets her enter the world of her favorite fantasy series. She wakes in a castle on the edge of a hellish chasm. I don't know when during that description my camera stopped recording, but I'm not saying it all over again. This girl is dying and she gets a second chance at life by being able to go into her favorite fantasy book series, but she gets in and it turns out that she's the villain instead of a hero. That's basically it. This book is either gonna be great or like the bad side of campy. So we'll see. And that was it for what month? July. Next is August. There are 11 books releasing in August that I'm going to tell you about. 3 come out on August 6th. The first is called The Girl with No Reflection by Kesha Chow, and it's a young adult fantasy. A young woman chosen as the crown prince's bride must travel to the royal palace to meet her new husband, but her world is shaken when she discovers the dark truth the royal family has been hiding for centuries. Princess Yue believed... Princess Yue? Princess Yue? Princess Yue? Okay. Can someone please write an adult fantasy Avatar: The Last Airbender inspired book series? Thanks. Princess Yue believed in love once upon a time. Yeah, before she had to leave Sokka behind and become the moon spirit. Yet when she's chosen to wed the crown prince, Yue's dreams of a fairy tale marriage quickly fall apart. Her husband-to-be is cold and indifferent, confining her to her room. Blah, 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 blah. I can't stop thinking about my Yue. Oh, the rumors swirl around the imperial whispers of 7 other royal brides who, after their own weddings, mysteriously disappeared. So this is gonna be a Bluebeard retelling. She begins to see things in her mirror, things that aren't really there. She accidentally opens a gateway with a realm full of sentient reflections, including the enigmatic Mirror Prince. Unlike his real-world counterpart, the Mirror Prince is kind and compassionate, and before long, Yue falls in love, the kind of love she always dreamed of, but there is darkness in this world too. Awesome. I don't actually know if I internalized any of the words I just said because I was just thinking about Avatar. Hopefully when I'm watching myself back, I can internalize those words more and actually understand what this book is about. The second book to come out on August 6th is A Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher, which I believe is the only book on the list by an author that I've already read a book from, I think. Anyway, unlike the Red Tower releases, this book was actually supposed to come out on August 20th, but it got pushed up. It got brought forward because T. Kingfisher is a professional. A dark retelling of the Brother Grimm's Goose Girl. Oh, Goose Girl. Cordelia knows her mother is unusual. Their house doesn't have any doors between rooms, and her mother doesn't allow Cordelia to have a single friend unless you count her mother's white horse. Other mothers don't force their daughters to be silent and motionless for hours, sometimes days on end. Other mothers aren't sorcerers. After a suspicious death in their small town, Cordelia's mother insists they leave in the middle of the night. They arrive at the remote country manor of a wealthy older man, the Squire, and his unwed sister, Hester. Cordelia's mother intends to lure the Squire into marriage. Hester knows the way to save her brother from bewitchment, and to rescue the terrified Cordelia, she will have to face down a wicked witch of the worst kind. They're calling it fantasy horror, a little both. The third book coming out on August 6th is called A Mask of Flies by Matthew Lyons. A Mask of Flies is horror, and it's 448 pages. Goodness gracious. A crime horror novel which blends It Follows and The Outsider with a pinch of The Evil Dead. What? I don't remember this at all. I want it now. A criminal and the cop she's taken hostage must find their way to safety, pursued by threats both human and supernatural after a failed bank robbery. Career criminal Anne Heller has no choice but to return to her family's cabin and the site of her mother's untimely death. Along with the writer Jessup, Anne's badly wounded partner, and Dutch, the police officer she's taken hostage. As they wait for help, Anne discovers strange relics of her mother and begins to unfold the mystery of her childhood in the cabin. Anne's quest to uncover more is interrupted when Jessup goes missing only to turn up dead. She and Dutch bury her friend, but that night the dead man comes back, seemingly risen from his grave to knock at the cabin door. Not a dream, not a hallucination, but not exactly Jessup either. Something else. Something wearing her friend's face. Something hungry. Woof. Okay. Yeah. It follows The Outsider and Evil Dead. Those comps are warming my heart. Oh my god. I see 5 stars everywhere. 5, 5, 4, 5. Oh, and it's from Tor. It's from Tor. It's gonna be great. Oh, this was like a gift to myself. There are 7 releases coming out on August 13th. 7. That's a lot. We're almost done. We got 8 more. The first one coming out on the 13th is called The Phoenix Keeper by S.A. McLean. It is a fantasy romance. It says, as head Phoenix Keeper at world-renowned Zoo for Magical Creatures, Aaliyah's childhood dream of conserving critically endangered firebirds seems closer than ever. There's just one glaring caveat. Her zoo's breeding program hasn't functioned for a decade. When a tragic phoenix heist sabotages the flagship initiative at a neighboring zoo, Ayla must prove her derelict facilities are fit to take the reins. But saving an entire species from extinction requires more than stellar animal handling skills. Carnivorous water horses, tempestuous thunderhawks, mischievous dragons. Ayla has no problem wrangling beasts. Inspiring zoo patrons? That's another story. Mustering the courage to ask for help from the hotshot griffin keeper at the zoo's most popular exhibit? Virtually impossible. Especially when the hotshot griffin keeper in question just so happens to be her arch rival from college, Luciana, an annoyingly brooding and even more annoyingly insufferable know-it-all with the grace of a goblin and the face of a goddess who's convinced that Ayla's beloved phoenix would serve their cause better as an active performer rather than as a passive conservation exhibit. Okay, I don't read romance, I don't read cozy fantasy, but the way to get me to do both of those things is apparently by making our protagonist a gay zookeeper. Because I already ordered this and I don't remember any of this, and I'm gonna read it like immediately. I'm not a cozy fantasy girl at all. I want stakes, I want high stakes. But apparently, if you give the zookeeper a girlfriend and put her in charge of mythological creatures, I will overlook my own boundaries. Okay. I'm excited. The second book coming out on August 13th is Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. I'm nervous about this one. I've only read one Ava Reid book so far, Juniper and Thorn, and good lord, I hated Juniper and Thorn. Looking back, I was not harsh enough in my rating or in what I said in the video. I hated that book. Because I hated Juniper and Thorn so much, I've put off reading A Study in Drowning because I'm just nervous I'm gonna hate everything. But I do want to see the cover for Lady Macbeth is just so cool. Also, it's so pretty. Font goes crazy. I mean, we'll see. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it no matter what. Are you long? Oh no, 320 pages. Okay, at least Ava Reid doesn't do overly long books. If she did, then I wouldn't want to keep trying things. Let's see. Giving her a power that transforms the story men have written for her. Her eyes induce madness in men. She has hidden witchcraft. Her husband has occult secrets of his own. Her magic is greater and more dangerous, and it will threaten the order of the world. I'm gonna read it. I'm just nervous because I hate hating books. But God, Juniper and Thorn got to me. Like, actually, there's I don't hate it. There's only one book I've ever read that I remember viscerally hating, and I won't tell you what it is yet because maybe I'll make a video about it someday. But there is one book that I've read that I was active. I refused to DNF a book. I was just actively furious the whole time I was reading it because I was just pissed off to be reading it. Next up is Time's Agent by Brenda Peinato. This is, oh, glory be, 208 pages. This is a novella. Oh, gorgeous. This is an adult science fiction novella that I remember nothing about, so let's read this together. Since humanity discovered the existence of pocket worlds, okay, portal fantasy, academics have embarked on exploratory missions as agents to study this new technology and harness the potential of a seemingly limitless horizon. Archaeologist Raquel and her biologist wife Marlena. Oh my god, I keep accidentally choosing all the gay books. I'm thrilled. Archaeologist Raquel and her biologist wife Marlena once dreamed the pocket worlds held the key to solving the universe's mysteries. 40 years in the future, Raquel is a disgraced ex-agent. Pocket worlds are controlled by corporations squeezing every penny out of all colonizable space and time, and Marlena now lives in a pocket universe Raquel wears around her neck and no longer speaks to her. Standing in the ruins of her dreams and her calling, Raquel seizes one last chance to redeem herself, to her wife and her own failed ideals, and confront what it means to save something or someone from time. Whoa. portal fantasy novella. I'm there. I'm stoked. Next up for August 13th is called Through the Midnight Door by Katrina Monroe, which is horror fantasy. The Finch sisters once spent long, hot summers exploring the dozens of abandoned properties littering their dying town until they found an impossible home with an endless hall of doors and 3 keys left waiting for them. They stepped inside their chosen rooms and experienced horrors they never dared speak of again. Now, years later, youngest sister Claire has been discovered in that old desiccated house. With the house once again pulling them ever closer, Meg and Esther must find the connection between their sister's death and the shadow that has chased them across the years before the darkness claims them too. Is this giving Haunting of Hill House? This is giving Haunting of Hill House. This is giving Mike Flanagan. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see this? Nope. Someone is echoing my statement. This summary is giving me Mike Flanagan vibes. Yeah, this is giving me Hill House. I would like it now, please. Next up on August 13th is Hera by Jennifer Saint. I am full of shame because I own 3 Jennifer Saint books. I own Atalanta, Ariadne, and Electra, and I've read none of them. And I just keep collecting them, and they're beautiful covers. And I keep not reading them yet. And now this new book, her 4th book, Hera, is coming out, and I'm buying it, and I still haven't read the other 3, and I am full of shame, and I'm a bad person. Traditionally portrayed as a jealous wife, a wicked stepmother, and a victim-blaming instrument of the patriarchy, Hera is ripe for a retelling that shows her as a powerful queen, ruthless when she needs to be, but also compassionate, strategic, and ambitious. I'm gonna make myself a deal. I'm definitely gonna go buy this book, but I have to read at least one of her books this summer. That's a legally binding contract. Next is a book called Glass Houses, which I, again, don't remember at all. Who are you by? Madeline Ashby. Also by Tor, which is a good sign. Science fiction, mystery thriller, for fans of Glass Onion and Black Mirror. A group of employees and their CEO celebrating the sale of their emotion mapping AI algorithm crash onto a not quite deserted tropical island. Those who have survived have found a beautiful, fully stocked private palace with all the latest technological updates. The house, however, has more secrets than anyone might have guessed and a much darker reason for having been built and left behind. The last book to come out on August 13th is called Mistress of Lies, which I really do not remember anything about. So let's read this together. Mistress of Lies by K.M. Enright. Fantasy, adult, vampires. Okay, neat. Love it. Shan Leclerc has spent her entire life perfecting her blood magic, building her network of spies, and gathering every scrap of power she could. To protect her brother, she assassinates their father and takes her place at the head of the family. Samuel Hutchinson stumbles upon the first victim of a magical serial killer. He's drawn into the world of magic and intrigue he's worked so hard to avoid, and is pulled deeply into the ravenous and bloodthirsty court of the Vampire King. Cool. Neat. And the last book on this list is coming out August 27th, and it's called The Crypt of the Moon Spider by Nathan Ballingrud. It is a horror novella wrapped up in, 112 beautiful little pages, also by Tor. Years ago, in a cave beneath the dense forests and streams on the surface of the moon, a gargantuan spider once lived. Its silk granted its first worshippers immense faculties of power and awe. It's now 1923 and Veronica Brinkley is touching down on the moon for her intake at the Barrowfield Home for Treatment of the Melancholy. Oh my god, it's me. Dr. Barrington Cole's invasive and highly successful treatments have been lauded by many. And they're so simple. All it takes is a little spider silk in the amygdala, maybe a strand or two in the prefrontal cortex, and perhaps an inch in the hippocampus for near evisceration of those troublesome thoughts and ideas. But trouble lurks in many a mind at this facility, and although the spider's been dead for years, its denizens are not. Someone or something is up to no good, and Veronica just might be the cause. So that sounds amazing, actually. That sounds great. I wish this wasn't the one that I had to wait the longest for. That is all 30 books that I wanted to tell you about coming out over the next 3 months. I hope that you add as many to your TBR as I clearly have, because I really want people to suffer with me. I want you guys to have as big and shameful of a TBR as I do. I don't want to be the only one who feels this way. So please feel like this with me. Anyway, that's it. I'm not gonna extend this outro longer than it needs to be. Let me know if you're adding any of these to your list. Let me know if there are any we should read together. Should we start a book club? I can do memberships now. Should we start a book club? Should we start a something? What do you guys want? What should we do here? Should we read books together? If you're adding any of these to your TBR, if you're gonna pre-order any of these or you're gonna pick them up when they come out, let me know. If you've heard of any more books coming out in the next 3 months that I have to add to my list, let me know. And that's all I have for you today. So if you can see me, if if you can hear my voice, if you can read the subtitles. I love you very much. Thank you for being here, and I hope I see you very soon. Bye. Oh my f***ing god. Hello? I don't read fantasy. Nope. What am I saying? I only read fantasy. Okay. Hi, friends. Not this again. Every time I go a week without filming, I come back and I'm nervous again, and I go, hi, friends. Like, I don't know how to talk to you and to a camera anymore. I'm babbling. Hey. Hey, guys. Was that screaming? Was I screaming? I didn't write a script for this. That's why I'm freaking out so much, because I didn't write a script. We're free balling it, baby. No, free winging. Free winging? Free balling. We're free balling it. I should have prepared more. Old miseries. Get it together. Which is the start. Dying. She sees it dying. I'm not gonna promise this one's gonna be short and sweet. This is not gonna be short and sweet. There you go. Next is a... Cool. Should I rewatch Black Mirror? No. Led by a terrifyingly realistic Charmander billionaire? A realistic Charmander billionaire.